Hello viewers and welcome back to Rome Total War 2 with me, Pew Pew Choo Choo. As you can probably tell, we are playing as the Romans, and well, welcome back. I skipped forward into the future by about like 1 or 2 minutes, simply because I record in like 20-minute chunks, and yeah, I didn't feel like anybody would be watching like a 1-minute video as a little bit of a continuation thing. So anyhow, when we left off, we had conquered... Oh, water bottle sound. We had conquered all of Italia, one part of Sardinia, and the bottom portion of Italy, but not Sicily. And I still do believe that we have an enemy army on our soil still. So we will have to deal with the remnants of the Etruscan League, the hammers of Sicilians over here next turn. We're definitely going to look into that, but for now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be building a few temples inside our provinces. In Rome, we actually have a little bit of a problem where we're going to have too many temples, and I think we'll keep it at 3. But any more than that will be a problem, because what my plan is to do is that I obviously want to build the Roman portion of our lands up into a bit of an industrial giant place, but at the moment it has an abysmally low public order, which is very important inside this game, of -77. So maybe building a few temples in the short term may be good. Moving forward, we do have to invest into another tech. We did physical conditioning last time, so it opened up 2 for us inside the tactics tree. 1 increases the damage done by missile units, and alternatively we can either go into the siege tab or the manage tab. But what I think I'll do is that I'll peek into here, go to the civil stuff, and really see what leads up to the public order bonuses. Now, let's see, we'll get scholarship right now, which will give us access to dignitaries, which are a little bit of an envoy, or rather, I think more of a administrator type of character on the map, which will be able to help us out in the whole public order thing. I started a playthrough as Carthage, and yeah, very interesting gameplay on their side. Very, very eccentric about fleet right here, about how
it is an honor to serve Rome.
How you conduct your troops. Well, there you go. There is Carthage ending a pact with us. It's no big deal though. With the Carthage troops though, they definitely had some interesting play. Oh, the Etruscan League is still making a few moves. Probably gonna fight us, but it looks like these are fairly one-sided battles, so I'll just auto-resolve them. With the Carthaginians, one of the problems with them is that their army doesn't have any particularly heavy infantry, and they rely on skirmishers a lot during the start of the game, making it really rather difficult to move with their forces. They really depended on mercenaries at the beginning of the game, so their tech tree, which was completely different from Rome's, his military section at least, focused upon getting cheaper mercenaries, which was kind of cool. It's an interesting experience, and they definitely had a harder start. Well, you know what? That might not be true. They had an interesting start, seeing as how on the campaign map, if we look at oh, mouse lag here. If we look at Carthage, where what we can see of Carthage, they have this tile right here, but what it doesn't show you is that they own this one, and that's it. They only own those 4 tiles at the beginning of the game, making it rather interesting, seeing as how their stuff is all spread out in the different corners of the world, so making it again fairly interesting to see how that worked. Over here, I think I'll get our fleet carrying our army back to the mainland, and I want to start expanding northward, so that's what I'll do. Over here, I'll get the smaller army to just auto-resolve a fight with 13 men. That'll butcher the last of the Etruscan League, and that should be the end of their faction.
Waiting for orders.
And there we go, and it looks like our
At
army
your
leveled
command.
up. So we will we'll get them a military tradition of being accomplished skirmishers for those javelins, and we'll get them that commander trait again for the bonus of being able to lead capable troops, really.
Ready for orders.
Now, playing as the Carthaginians will definitely affect how I play our game starting from now. I mean, playing as them. Oh, one thing that I didn't talk about was all of these buildings are actually color-coded here. Probably should talk about this earlier before I do anything with the buildings. The yellow ones here will always be the capital of the region, and these will pretty much just affect the these are pretty much just a straight upgraded one you can. Gives the province more resources and stuff and such like that. The things with purple backgrounds are temples, and temples they have a really elaborate setup where you can choose from a lot of different temples, and they all have really good benefits. The one that I'm probably going to go with the most is the Shrine of Minerva, which gives a research bonus of 2% at the first level, and then it's 4, and then it's 8, and then depending on how many you have them, they are really rather useful. And of course, you also have some of the ones that spread Latin culture, which is rather useful in calming the populace. The ones with the red backgrounds are going to be about military ones. You have the barracks, where the auxiliary camp right here, which unlocks some troops, and then you have the workshop, which unlocks siege troops, and you also have another one for skirmishers. And I do believe you also gain access to a bow type of thing later on. The blue is navy, in case you haven't figured it out, and the green is farming. So that is kind of that. Man, oh man, playing that Carthage playthrough was really fun. I've got to say their location was interesting, and because of their unit troop cast, I mean they only had pretty much javelin throwers and hoplites at the beginning of the game, made it really rather interesting. Seeing as how they didn't have any heavy attack units, unlike the Romans, which can just, in plain simple English, fuck up shit with their heavy infantry wherever they go. So I had to buy like an army of like 10 skirmishers and then just pummel people with
A
arrows.
river of goods and coin between our lands would surely see all prosper. Will you?
Normally I would accept a trade agreement, but I'm actually going to go over there and conquer them. Just so yeah, I'm prepping for a little bit of a conquest up here, so that's kind of why I'm moving our armies back and whatnot. But yeah. It's kind of why I wouldn't accept that trade agreement. Usually I do accept trade agreements, so just saying. What I'm going to do for now is that I'm actually going to disband some of these leaves simply because they're not really that effective. I figured, like, earlier you may have noticed that they don't actually carry the... Oh, why is the camera over there? They don't carry flaming javelins, so they're not as useful as the regular or the Velites, which do carry the flaming javelins. You do need to have those flaming javelins for the projectiles to be actually effective, so we're definitely going to buy a few more of these guys. We unlocked some more different types of troops, so this is very interesting. We have unlocked the Sochi, or at least that's how I imagine it's pronounced, Histadi, and these guys are essentially the Foreign Legion. These guys are the regular variant of these troops are, I believe, Romans, but these Sochi version, they are Etruscan, Samite, or Greek, and they're a little bit of a Foreign Legion type of thing, but they're still fairly useful. They are actually cheaper than the regular Roman troops by a little bit. So 470, 450 here. They have the same maintenance cost though. But I mean, the regular Histadi have a melee attack of 43, whereas these guys have a melee attack of 71. But they are better in defense, but lower morale and lower armor. So I'm not really sure what the appeal of them is. We have the auxiliary infantry again, and again, these people are typically non-citizens, and they essentially go to war for well, first and foremost cash, but also for Roman citizenship. Later on during the late Roman period, I believe everybody was granted Roman citizenship, but at this particular time they didn't have it. So I'm going to be rebuilding up our army using Histadi, and these guys aren't actually legionnaires. That was my mistake. They are lower than legionnaires. Legionnaires, represented in the game at least, use a different type of unit. So that is type of that, and we will also check out those war dogs. But for now, we're just going to kind of recruit the bases for our army, for now at least. So Carthage is going to do a few moves, and we will move forward. Somebody on the first video asked me a question about my claim about the Roman military being the first professional army, and then he brought up the question of Sparta and how they weren't seen as how Spartan landowners who bought their own equipment and stuff weren't seen as professional military men, and well, I think that is a very very legitimate question. And well, to be frank, I mean, I'm not particularly sure about this because I in a way agree with him. But I do believe the main difference between them and the Roman military was that the Romans had an active military, so these guys, they weren't on call, as in, even during times of peace, they were still present, right? Over here, I think I'll get, for the tech tree at least, I think I'll get the iron tools thing right here, which will increase our wealth of all of our regions from agriculture, just simply because. Yeah, he definitely has a very valid point there, and like my answer to that is that I was told that they were the first. How should I put this? The first professional military, but I think the answer for that lies in how exactly it's kind of like accuracy and precision, where to regular people on a regular basis, I mean, they practically mean the same thing, but when you take a look at it, they have subtle differences in each other, right? And it's I think the main branch off from that is that the Spartans, they used the levy system, so they were on call. Is my understanding of it, is that when they weren't at war, they didn't maintain a sizable force. So yeah, I do believe it stems from that, but that is definitely a very valid question, and you know, with some Wikipediaing, you could probably find an answer to that. Lots and lots and lots of turns with lots of different factions. But don't worry though, that faction list is getting shorter by the turn. Did they just go through our
joint
land?
enemies would tremble if we were your allies. Your strength, our...
I'm not going to accept any of those things for now. Those little non-aggression packs. Typically, I'll accept trade though, so we'll see how that goes. Right now, for the next few turns, I'm just going to be building up our army. I think I'll buy three units of attack dogs each whenever I can afford it for our armies, and really go from there. One cool feature that I didn't show you guys just yet is this section right here, where we can actually delve with the politics of Rome. We are inside House Cornelius. We do gain some bonuses from them, more tax rate, benefit to relations, and a disdain for plebs for a public order penalty, apparently. So that is us. As Rome, we get Roman legions, and we get bread and circuses, but that's another story. But we can do a few political actions, and sometimes important things come up. So we have two events here. We have the chickens have spoken. The keeper of the chickens informs us that the birds have eaten heartily, a sure sign that we are favored by the gods. So apparently this is a bad omen, even though it says it is a good one. So we could do essentially three things to resolve the issue. Like, to be frank, I have no idea how this works, so I'll just go with we must celebrate. And the second one, a filthy spectacle. Let's see, your general is seeking permission to sail down to spectacle cloud, Maxima, he feels like the spectacle will provide enough distraction for the people and display the impressive piece of Roman architecture. Well, I guess we will allow that. It's going to cost us some money, though, probably. And, yeah, we can do a lot of stuff from there. So this is us. This is our person. And there are a few other houses, and they all have their own people. And how this works, I believe, is that you influence senators, represented by the number here, and it really goes from there. But I'm not particularly sure about how that system works, so I think I'll just leave it alone until it becomes more important. For the time being, oh no, we can't recruit one. I was going to recruit a dignitary because I believe they have the functions of administrators where they can help restore public order, but we couldn't buy one, so I think we'll wait that out. Yeah, because that public order value is very, very important. During my playthrough of Carthage, it was the public order was just so essential. Because of how it's provincial-wide, so it affects a lot of places, and it, you know, it has a tendency to always be dropping. So I would imagine that you would be left to a spiral chain of just endless revolts if you didn't keep that public order in check. So that's kind of why I built a lot of temples on the map, just because it seems very, very crucial. Lots of turns go by. These guys are actually really rather active. Yeah, you see that there are revolts down there. In Sicily. Oh good, chickens have spoken, so now it's a good omen, so I guess that's good for us. I was still building these troops up, so I think I'll purchase a few more guard dogs for them, and then that'll pretty much be the end of those troops right there. In the meantime, we have some money to spend, so let's buy another temple here, another shrine to Minerva, and end it the turn just like that. Unless we can buy some tech. Can we buy some tech? Yeah, we can buy some tech now, so I think we'll go with, I think we will go with the, this one right here, weapon proficiency, which will give our missile troops more damage. Again, going off of my Carthage playthrough, having those skirmishes really pummel the enemy with fiery javelins was just so devastating that I'm really going to do a tech tree decision off of them. Because I mean, they didn't have anything else, and it was just so devastating. Just with the skirmish feature, what you can do with that is that the javelin throwers, the light infantry, will just kind of be juggled around, and they'll come forward, throw their javelins at the enemy, and if they try to pursue them, they'll pull back, right? So then you can kite the enemy with 2 javelin throwers, one drawing the enemy, and then the other one firing, and then that one will be argoed, and then it'll pull them back, and then it'll just constantly do that and just really, really pummel the enemy. The other thing is that in battles, in the 2 fights that, it's Total War game, we fought 2 battles so far. In those 2 battles, you may have noticed that when things are hitting the enemy forces, what is this? A rebellion from the looks of it. We'll just auto-resolve it simply because we have the option to. Inside those battles, you may have noticed that our troops use their shields, and they do try to block the enemies' attacks. And we have apparently gained 5 gravitas, so we've gained a little bit of influence. Yeah, when a rebellion happens, it lowers the public, it increases the public order rather. But again, this province over here is probably going to be fairly unstable. Rome is looking better, and I was going to buy that dignitary, so let's do that. And all of the dignitaries have the same stats, so just buy one like that.
Gods help me, I will not.
And I do believe these guys.
And will not. I would sit and read my scrolls a while. Ever in service to Rome.
Yeah, these guys have a lot of different actions that they can accomplish, but the one that I am interested in is this civil administration one. There we go. There's a button for it. I see. It's not moving it into a city anymore, so we'll have that guy